Hello, I'm cheating and I'm starting talking here when the timer actually hits 5 seconds so that I can see if that'll work for the delay. So it looks like it actually did. So now I know kind of how to start without making it awkward. There we go. Dutch Black Cat, thank you for the call out. That was a good shout out on the title because I completely forgot. It's been a long day and I think I got like 3 hours of sleep. All right. Today we are gonna do some kind of random repairs. So yesterday we finished up whatever it was we were working on. I literally don't remember. Oh, VGA modding the 16500B. Yeah, that's it. And I was bored and I couldn't figure out what to do at the end of stream. And Ben meant that, oh no, look at the title. It says we're going to do random nonsense. Ben reminded me that the power supplies that I use, my HP 663332As, had a problem that I could investigate. So I did, and there are some rather suspicious REFA line filter capacitors in there. So I'm thinking that could be related to the problem that I'm having with this unit in particular. So what we're going to do today is just cap map it, put it up on Caps Wiki. I've already got it. Sure. Yeah, that was supposed to be Caps Wiki, but I guess, oh well, Caps Wiki is down now. Anyway, what are you, some kind of gamer now? No, it's not related to anything with that. I just could not fall asleep. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Well, I have it up. I don't know why the HDMI input's not set correct. Anyway, we'll caps map this. Once we've done that, and I picked out caps on DigiKey or whatever to order, I'm going to go ahead and also cap map this, I think. This is the test bench motherboard. The caps on it are looking a little suspicious, and I think they should all be replaced. I had previously removed 2 of them because one of them was a little bit explodey, and that's bad. So yeah, I figure cap map that, see if I have enough capacitors back here already to try and repair this one. I know I won't for this. We already looked because it needs some weird X2 class caps that I do not have the correct values for. So we're not gonna be able to fix this. And I also pulled out the other one. Oh, they're heavy because there's a giant transformer right here. The other one, so we're gonna map that today as well. So that's what we're doing. Caps Wiki, more like some user was banned for this post. I don't get it. Anyway, keeps thinking about all the potential reefers that are still inside his hardware. Yeah. I thought I had purged them all. Well, I mean, I guess technically I haven't looked inside of these, so they could be lurking in there. That's a fun thought. I don't think there's going to be one in this. I don't care if there's one in the Spectrum Analyzer. You know what? If there's one in the Spectrum Analyzer, it's going to earn the right to blow up because, dear Lord, I am not going into that thing. If you ever want to know what nightmares look like, it's that. Oh, okay, got it, Ben. I have no idea. I know Ben doesn't have ill intent for Caps Wiki. Okay, so
100 stealth writers till they make themselves known. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. All right, let's open up the other one, the 6632. Is that the 32? Yeah, it's a 32. And see what we got going on in that one. Ugh, they're so heavy. This one was rude enough to not have rack handles. Ugh. So I just got to manhandle it. All right, well, I hope your guys' days are going well. Mine has been very productive. Makes an adjuster spelling, yeah. Mine's mystery screw floating around his desk. I only wonders what they came out of. Oh, I've stopped asking that question a long time ago. There's too many of those around here. I'm usually pretty good about putting stuff away. Not good enough, though. You slept in till 9? Mr. Show Off. I was awake 4 hours before you, at least. I mean, counting the part where I was, like, intentionally awake. All right. So, inside of this, I'm not expecting to see too much that is dissimilar from this one. Matter of fact, it should be almost identical, other than the fact that I believe I did not Noctua mod this one. I think the fan in this one was just okay, so I didn't bother. Just found a second identical one. Uh-oh, Ben. Got a 15 minutes going and panicked when the clock said it was 10 to 11. Oh yeah, daylight savings time. That's, yeah. Forgot that that's a thing. So, happy different time to everyone who celebrates daylight savings time. Enjoy. Oh, wait. I just realized that other camera's missing. And boop, there we go. Okay, there we go. Hi. That sounds like the best thing, Sad Mac. All right. DST in the US? Pff, I don't know. Don't ask me. Lost hour of sleep happened in real time. Oh, yeah, since I slept so poorly, I can commiserate with you all. Oh, man, I really hated it when that time change happened and then I lost all that sleep. That's totally what happened. Yep, mm-hmm. Why is this not coming off? There we go. All right. Oh, this one is slightly different. Those capacitors are orange. Oh, and I did Noctua mod it. What do you know? Actually, they are slightly noticeably different. So this one's got 3 chunky caps. This one's got, I mean, one of them's like a little weird short squat one, but it does have 2. Well, I don't know what that was, but it just shot out across the room. So I do see it. For some reason, there was a micro HDMI cap. All right. Why are these so different? Oh, sort of caps based on the color specs don't matter? Now you're getting it. See, that's why I was so excited that one time we found purple axial ones, but then they weren't actually purple, and then it was just like, why even bother? All right. You know, it was mostly thinking about Project Succubus. That stupid brain would not relent. Ugh. It's one of those things where I should have just gotten up and then written like 2 paragraphs for a script that will never come to fruition as a full video and then just gone back to sleep. I actually would have been better off doing that. But, oh well. All right. So we've got some red squares, some orange circles, some blue rectangles, a big old, textured rectangle, and then obviously the big silver rectangle, and then the silver rhombuses. So those are all the parts that are in there. You tell I'm ready for a good thinking day. Like the old light blue Rubicon caps. These ones. See, I keep thinking these and thinking about that pink Super Nintendo. So I can't say I share the sentiment. Brown spinny. Yep, brown spinny doodad. So I'm playing a prank major set. The third one almost identical. Why are the mystery parts usually called black boxes when they're clearly silver? Ah, right? I really like on these. There's the two heat sinks. These are connected to the, I'm pretty sure, MOSFETs, and they go just straight through. This big old fan vent that goes right out the back. All right. So let me compare these values to see what we've got. I'm a little nervous of these being different from each other because I didn't anticipate that. I wonder if the MOSFETs are the same. That's a year. So that is 1854 and then 1854. So this one says 8829, that one says 8929, this one says 8850, 8905, so those are definitely date codes. I didn't quite realize these were 80s power supplies. Well, these are more different than I realized. You know what? I think we're going to not correlate these on Capswick. I'm going to mark them discreetly. Because, I mean, these are weird. So look here, okay? Got some TO2s with heat sinks. And then over here, just diodes. I mean, I'm sure these are like big fancy diodes or whatever. And then down here, we got cute little ceramic leaded caps. And then over here, the blackness. No, there's paper caps and a poly cap. So, hello. How did I not know that those were there? Excuse me. Enhance. There's just straight up terminals there for adding the front plugs. Maybe that's why there's no cap here. Is that just connected to the output? Okay, well that's interesting. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do these separately because I don't think that there's gonna be a reasonable amount of crossover, or at the very least, it's not gonna be worth documenting the crossover differences when it's that significant. Wow, look at this. I don't like this. So here we got fuse, and then over here we've got resistor. What? Maybe that's some kind of weird fuse, but I'm pretty sure that's a ceramic resistor. It's just been mounted upside down. So that's cool. That's worrying. I don't think it's been modified before I got it, that is, because I put the Noctuas in there. Yeah, I don't see evidence that is a hack job on the thing. Is it a fuse integrated in the output terminals?
Or who says CHER
Maybe.
100 upside down? Aussie resistor. All the electrons will fall out. End of line.
Here, let's continuity test that to output, see what we get. Maybe they don't bother fusing the front. Or maybe they only fuse the front, I should say. I don't know. We'll just continuity test that to the ports and see what we get. What are these two guys again? This is an HP 6632A. This is an HP 6633A. These are so similar that the manual for them is identical. It is one manual, but because they are operated identically, they just have different voltage ranges. This one is 0 to 20 volts and 0 to 5 amps, and this one is 0 to 50 volts and 0 to 2 amps. They're 100-watt power supplies. That's why the heat sinking capability is the same, but the different ranges. I did not know that the internals would be so different, though. It's kind of annoying that there wasn't just one, like, fancy version that was like, it can output 100 watts and then just, like, you know, calibrate the voltage and current scale to whatever it needed to be, but whatever. Are there other ranges? Do you need the complete set? There is the 6634.
They've subscribed for 38 months, currently on a 38-month streak. And says you know WHAT semicolon S different ... daylight savings ... End of line.
So the 34 is 100 volts, but only 1 amp. I don't really think I have a use for 50 to 100 volts. So no, I don't think I need that one. Like you said yesterday, we wouldn't. Well, we're gonna cap map them because I think I should just order caps for them. Anyway,
tier 1 subs to Techtankis' community. They've gifted a total of 235 in the channel. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits earlier from the Upside Down comment. Schmide, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 38 months. No, it's this one. 38 months. I appreciate that. And Spooky, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm going to have to order parts because I do not have the X-Class caps for the back.
120 bits for the treasure train. Choo-choo. End of line. A swarm of dead insects is gifted 5 tier 1 subs to Techtankis' community. They've gifted a total of 41 in the channel. End of line.
Ben, thank you for the 120 bits. And Swarm, thank you for the 5 gifted subs as well. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Didn't they say they're... Oh, they asked if you needed the complete set. That you were a Venn diagram related about the same.
Community, they've gifted a total of 25 in the channel. End of line.
Schmide, thank you for the 5 gifted subs too. I very much appreciate that. Oh man, while we're off track, it has been really... What's even going on? I don't know. Other than the fact that I gotta stall, so because dragging these heavy monsters over to the computer bench is gonna suck. You know what? Maybe we'll cap map at this. I didn't think about that. That might actually be better. He's trying to avoid complete set unless he actually has use for him. Kinda.
Gifting 5 tier 1 subs to Techtankis' community. They've gifted a total of 58 in the channel. End of line.
Wesley, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
Tier 1. They've subscribed for 48 months, currently on a 48-month streak. And says daylight savings time is very annoying. End of line.
David, thank you for the...
9C5SIZCHER 100. Just think of lifting them as your workout for the day. End of line.
Yeah. David, thank you for the tier 1 sub and for 48 months. I appreciate that. What's daylight savings time, though? And Jefferson, thank you for the 100 bits. Well, Chloe, that just meant it was up for grabs today because it's a brand new day and I gotta work out again, apparently. I gotta one hand... Oh, I literally can't do that. Wow. Nope. How heavy are these? It's also part of the leverage being so wonky, but I wonder if this actually says how heavy they are. Let's see. Oh, they got all these specs that are about like how much voltage it can do. Okay, 23 pounds. There we go.
They have given 42 gift subs in the channel. End of line.
Swarm, thank you for the gifted sub there. Seen the troubleshooting flowchart? I did see that was posted. I didn't actually look through it because it looked like you needed to measure a bunch of stuff. But no matter what, the Reefas need replaced. So I figured we'd just troubleshoot or shotgun parts with that first, and then if need be, come back to them. Anyway, I was gonna say what's the thing? Oh, it's been really interesting seeing the response to the microscope CED and Laserdisc video. It's the comments went all kinds of different directions on that than I was expecting. So it's kind of fun to see that. I do wish that it was a better produced video because it's gaining more traction than I anticipated, but that was just the reality of it.
End of line. David Phantom says daylight savings time is something you don't need to worry your Arizonan head about. CHER 100. End of line.
David, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. And Dziak, thank you for the 100 bits. But yeah, it's been interesting reading the comments on that one. I was gonna make it a TT2 video, but then I figured that the hook was just too good. So my video was astounding. Learned technology connections about it. I feel bad for him because I suspect a lot of people are. No offense. It's just, yeah, he probably will appreciate it. It's just kind of funny, things like that, where someone will post a video that particular YouTubers will just get inundated with it. So, I'm surprised to see it was even possible to view it with the microscope. Yeah, I think it's reasonable that the people are skeptical about it on the laser discs because it doesn't make a ton of sense other than that you can see the carrier frequency, which is what it really is. But diffraction grading is like a whole ridiculous thing. So the fact that you can see it isn't too surprising to me, but it is not intuitive. CED, though, that I kind of expected to be able to see. To your end of line straight from the source. But yeah, that was cool. I'm happy with how that one was received. NVIDIA technology connection made heating, cooling, energy saving. Surprised he hasn't done much of a deep dive into ceiling fans. I don't know. I don't know what mysticism there is to unravel about them. All right, well, let's get back to the topic at hand. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do these here because I really don't. I don't think there is a way for me to move these over to the workbench to document without destroying something because they're heavy and sharp and weird. I still believe it's group hallucinations, the microscope stuff. At least the microscope's making its money back. I think it may. That was part of why I put it on the channel. Oh yeah, Wesley, you're now permitted to submit it to Hackaday. If it hasn't already been, I feel like that's like pure Hackaday bait. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is an article about it already. All right, let me get Camps Wiki up here. All right, scenes. Hold on. I'm going to do a little switch up. So, weird thing. All right. If you checked your email, could have gotten double paid for the microscope. Yeah. Meh. I can't add browser docs to OBS on the streaming computer for some reason. It's OBS 31.1, but it's just not an option. I can add browser sources, but not docs. It's really weird. What am I looking for? I'm looking for window capture. That's it. And it's named differently because of stupid pipe wire. That's what's throwing me off. Here we go. Windows Caps Wiki. There we go. That's what I'm after. Boom. Oh, I'm so glad I went into Studio View so that I could set this up without it being a nuisance. Whatever. All right. That'll do for now. Okay, so Ring HP logic analyzers have corrosion issues, but are disassemble. So I actually someone asked on one of the VODs for the VGA stuff. My apologies, I didn't reply back because I read the comment really late. I don't know that the 16500 series has that. I'm not sure that there is the foam on the bottom of the cards like that. At least I don't believe I've seen it on any of mine. So, all right, let's see. HP. Is it just me? Browser docs are broken on Wayland due to something issues. Stupid Wayland. HP 66. Okay, I got to make a page for 6633. Wait, which one's this one? Whichever one this is, that's the one we're doing first. It's got all the caps. It's the 32. HP 6632A. Okay. And go. All right. And no problem, Vincy. Let's see. Get rid of the title. I'm not going to bother with a picture right now. Release year. Hold on, the manual might have that. Come here. Where manual? Okay. Words. Give me February 1987. We'll just go with that. Wow, these are early models then, because this one's 88 and that one's 89. They kept these kinds of things around for a long time. 87. Leak risk, I'm going to go low. I don't think they're going to leak. I do think they will explode with reefas, though. So I'm going to go low on that. Do we have a dedicated reefa alert? Why do we not have a checkbox or just reefa? Like, warning, will blow up. How is that not? How? I don't want to add it right now, but it should get added. Low, but contains reefas. Tangent edit? No, I'm not in the right. It's not happening. I don't remember how to do MediaWiki templates right now, and I don't want to mess up CapsWiki trying to do that. Okay, we got BGA. We do not have BGA. Everything's through hole. I don't think there's even sockets. No. No SMD. So it's all just through hole. Okay. I'm going to just like leave all the capacitor types. Maybe there isn't polymer, actually. But there's definitely ceramic. I mean, I guess I can't completely confirm they're tantalums. Nope, they're definitely tantalums. Oh, wait, why does that say Y? But it's a little blue. Are there crystals that are epoxy dipped? What are we looking at? This is an HP 6632A nap generator. I mean, power supply. And it has capacitors in it that probably need to be replaced.
They've subscribed for 8 months and says some Amazon cents. End of line.
Lopsic, thank you for the Prime sub and for 8 months. I appreciate that. Do we have schematics? I think there might be some in a service manual that's linked in the Discord server, but I'm not going to bother looking at that right now. Batteries, I do believe there are none. I should actually look here, though, because it has onboard calibration. Oh my gosh, it's so heavy. Nope, I don't see any. Oh my gosh, stupid, expensive, fancy pants HP. The button panel has Enig plating on it. Why? Enig. Something immersion nickel instant gold or something. Yeah. It's ENIG. HP did everything gold back then.
CHPER 100Y because HP, of course. End of line.
Yeah. That's overkill for the button panel. The actual main board isn't gold. Anyway, thank you, Chloe, for the 100 bits. All right, that looks good there. All right. I think we can get rid of, there's not going to be a Wikipedia page on this. Whether shown, I own 2 Apple II GSs. Or is it 3? I don't know. I got a boxed one, and I got one that is loose. DCP-CU, that's why it makes sense. It's so strong. Yeah, it's that, and it's linear. It's not switching. At least I'm pretty sure it's linear. For some reason, my final words are Enig. Electrolysis, electroless or electrolysis? I don't know. Immersion gold. Yeah. Anyway, the 100 watt DC power supply made, I guess did I not add a manufacturer or something along those lines? Picture title, blah, blah, blah. I guess it doesn't matter. Electroless. It's not an electrolytic process. Okay. If it's not done through electrolysis, then how is it done? Is it one of those things where it's corrosion almost, where the gold just like sticks to the nickel just because of how it works? That's weird. Ion exchange salts? Sounds weird. Fine spring magic. Yeah, I'm going to go with Dziak's answer. Made by HP. Part of the 6632, 6633, and 6634 model line that share the same base parts with different configurations to set different output limits. Chemical voodoo, there we go, yeah. Okay, symptom or known issue or known problem encountered. We have not officially encountered a problem on this, and I'm not 100% sure that the overvolt problem is going to be solved with the reefa cap replacement on the 33, so we will not do that. Drop nickel in a solution of gold salts and with gold-plated nickel and nickel contaminated solution. Okay. You only need electricity to do it the other way. That makes sense. Yeah, there are lots of weird interactions between different materials like that. And it's amazing how much some of that is common knowledge still gets screwed up. Like the most recent version of the Ford Bronco shipped with incompatible metals in the roof that led to galvanic corrosion where 2 points meet. You'll see bubbling in the paint because the metal is deteriorating underneath because the metal is just breaking down. It's somewhat like the putting gallium on aluminum, except that that process is a lot more reactive. It's a lot faster, but there are different metals that will do those things together over longer periods of time. But even the Broncos are a pretty short period of time for it to happen with. Just that was a giant mess up. I think that wasn't the biggest problem. That was like saying that there was a hair on your turd sandwich silencer, but you know. In Ford's defense, they tested in Arizona with no moisture. What a statement of joy. Man. All right, let's look at the thing. Is there? I'm gonna have to actually take this thing out. Oh God, how do you remove the board? Oh my gosh, this thing's a nightmare to work on. What? I did not realize this. Okay. You see how the back is riveted on? Surprise, it's not the back, it's still the bottom. It's rolled up the back and then riveted to the sides. And this goes over the top. So in order to remove the board, you have to remove this spar and then like feed it up and out. Oh man, that's brutal.
JEFFERSONTWILIGHT 9C5SIZHER 100 good old no user serviceable parts. End of line.
No kidding. Jefferson, thank you for the 100 bits. Probably have to remove the heatsink first. There is no way on earth I am removing the heatsink. The heatsink has 8 TO2 packages connected through it. Reduce component parts cost. Yeah. I still somehow feel like this is not the easier solution. Oh my gosh. Well, good thing that's a future Shelby problem, because I'm not dealing with that right now. Is there a board marking on here somewhere? Not that I can see. We'll just go with no board marking. One moment, I need to blow my nose. Look, I made it almost 40 minutes into the stream without having to. It's a new record. You forgot the trademark symbol and spelling it, yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, even if you drilled out the rivets, the metal would still be bent there. You'd have to bend it back, and you would fatigue this aluminum doing that too many times. So, bleh. Dude, this is terrible. I am not looking forward to working on this now. Great. Maybe we will want to look at those schematics. I don't know. I have no idea. Board, not chassis. I can see all the standoffs here and there's nothing through it. Oh, it's so heavy. It's heavy and sharp. Who would have guessed?
Loriku says CHER 100. No accountants were harmed in the making of this device. Unfortunately not by your command.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Service equal decommission and replace. I don't know. HP was kind of better about that. I don't know. I guess it depends where in the product line this fell. I don't know. Okay. Mainboard removal procedure in the manual is so long HP lost count of steps. That's one reason why I'm not taking it out right now. I have to undo every single connector on here, including the ones that go to the transformer. So yeah, screw that. All right, well, let's continue. Basic PCB name, main board. There are no model numbers or revisions. It's just the PCB. All right. I need this to be at least long enough to see all that, or wide enough. All right, hold on. I'm going to disappear for a second. All right. Okay. Let the fun begin. Yeah. All right. C100. That's literally the last one. Let's start over here. C157. Wait, why? How? It's 133 over there. 157 down here. All right, fine. Can I at least read these? Maybe almost. I'm going to go grab a flashlight. I will be right back. Alrighty. I want to see if the values on these caps are all the same. That's a little bright. Okay, 7400 UF, 63 volts. And then 7400, 63. 33,000. 16 volt? What the heck? 7400, 63. 7400, 63. And yeah, 33,000. Jeez. How about this one? It's 12,000, 16 volt, and then 2200, 200 volt. Dude, HP was just using anything they found laying around. They just closed their eyes and started grabbing for capacitors and just chucked them in there. All right. All right, let's just start documenting them. Oh, that's at least slightly nice. I just realized that there are, I think, just a couple of screws you have to take out, and then this whole unit slides back, not just the heatsink, the whole PCB. You slide it back, and then it'll lift out. So it's almost easy. You don't have to take out a billion screws, at least. So it uses F2, uses fusible resistor. Weird. Why? They think people are more likely to blow up the 32? I mean, it is the highest current output one, isn't it? Yeah, it would be. So maybe that's why. All right, so it's 157. 157. We officially are beginning. Okay, it's 7,400. Actually, there's two of them that are this value, so it's C150. Oh no, the yawning begins already. We got a long 3 hours and 15 minutes to go. Wait, is this 150? No, this is 103. 103 and 101 are the same, and then 102 is different. But dude, HP, you guys are crazy. 101 and then C103. Okay. C157 is different for every model. Delightful. 63 volt. Mount. I'm going to guess that's snap-in, but I'm just going to mark it as through hole. Diameter, vary. Most technical problems occur between the chair and the interface, yeah. All right. Fancy calipers got new batteries in them, so I can actually read the numbers now. All right. The diameter is, the diameter is not a problem. So the diameter is, I don't want it in imperial. Diameter is 35. Okay, nice and easy. 35 millimeter. 35 millimeter. Okay. Height, not a problem. It's 50 millimeters. Huh. Lead spacing. Lead spacing requires removing the main board. Well, technically not in this case because I can actually cheat and measure it on the other one since they are the same PCB. And yeah, that capacitor is not installed. Ugh. So I'll cheat on this one. But then I'm not populating the rest. It's fixed number depending on the diameter. Yeah, we're going to hope for the best on that with the majority of these, I think. Okay, lead spacing is approximately 10 millimeters. There we go. Cheater. I am a cheater on this one. I will gladly take that designation. Okay. Aluminum electrolytic. Brand Sprague. Series blue. No. I'm gonna have to replace them. Are you gonna replace them when the board comes out? I'm not replacing these. Those are probably, well, they're probably fine, but those are the kinds of caps that were dead in the deck rider. But the deck rider was murdered to death, so I don't know if that should count against these. I don't think I want to replace these. Plus, they're probably like 12 bucks each. And we'd be looking at like $60 to $70 worth of caps for just the 5 of these. Drill holes in the case where the solder joints are. What should I listen to, Ben? What did I miss? Was it to just go on Amazon and buy new power supplies? Good thing you're doing different pages because so many caps are model dependent. Yeah, it looked like it. This thing needs recapping? Maybe. This one? No. Couldn't you tell from the schematics in the service manual? I don't know if they'll list that. Lead spacing in particular, I don't know if they will. Season B, if you want to link the service manual in chat, I would be interested in that. Does be a good way to kill a half an hour yesterday. Oh, yeah, that's what you mean. Well, I mean, it does need to be done, and I discovered the... oh, these aren't even that big of capacitors. I discovered the REFAs, which I definitely needed to know about. Yeah, I figured they didn't list the lead spacing, but it still might be useful. You think that's a capacitor? That's a capacitor. Thank you for that, Season B. All right. All right, errata. The power supply is errata. Got it. Okay. Firmware. That's some stuff. Oh, there's OV things. This is a small cap, yeah. I mean, it's only 95 volts. 39,000 microfarad. I mean, that's not that much, though. This one's 33. That's a coffee mug. There's frequently like a parts list at the back. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, page 81. Oh, why don't they put the capacitors? Oh, wait, here we go. Fixed ceramic. I like how they put fixed. Like, you know, it's normal to assume that your capacitors are variable. Hold on, I need a scroll wheel. Aw, yeah. So handy. To get hot over that side of the device, there is literally a fan right there designed to blow air through it, so yes. Oh, I forgot how horrible this mouse is to touch. It sticks so much. Ugh. No, it's really not that heavy. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. They list them out each for the different ones. Okay, so there's manufacturer codes. Why are these all the exact same value? All right, let's just skip to, yeah, C101. Okay, so 7400, C102 is 33. Okay, and then 74. Okay, good to confirm that. I like that. Oh, that I just forgot. Wayland's got the best feature ever. I will never get tired of that. I don't even know if you can. Oh, you can't. Oh, that's interesting. When I shake the mouse cursor and it makes it go big, it disappears for you. Ah, that's boring. Batch number. It says manufacturer code. Why would it be a batch number in the service manual? What am I going to use the power supply for? This is my general purpose electronics test power supply. So I use this all the time for different things. Biggest cap's 2200 UF, 450 volts. Good grief. At what point did they just give you two metal plates so that you have space that you adjust? Well, I'm going to keep this up just for reference so that I can compare these. But yeah, like literally every single part has a different value listed for the different revisions. So yeah, it's going to be definitely different pages. Literally who manufactures, not some part code. Oh, okay, so it's HP's own internal ID. So this just means Sprague. Got it. Does it run Doom? Well, it's a DC power supply, so no. It's like asking if a AA can run Doom. Okay. All right, there might be a series on here, but I do not know how to tell what it is because there's, I'm not kidding, like 4 different numbers on this that could each be the series. So I got no clue. I'm not even going to bother. All right. Uh... Charge you about 10 volts. Okay, that's a lot. Probably has some kind of processor. I mean, it's got GPIB on it, so yeah, it's got something in there. Watch, it's a 6502, just like all the Commodore peripherals, where it's just like, oh no, they're HP wonky things. Never mind, that's right. All of the DIP 40s are HP branded. Oh wait, no, that one's Motorola branded. I see, actually I'm pretty sure that's the GPIB controller. It might have some kind of Motorola microcontroller. I'm gonna go with that. And then some HP secret sauce power supply controller. Yeah, the Intel one is definitely a GPIB controller. Yeah. Vorpal Sword, if I can do that, I can do that later. Because, yeah, I don't need to do that on stream where I have a vastly inferior computer interface. I mean, look at the keyboard. I mean, for one, it's like... So I can do that later. All right, 150, no, C102. C102. Quantity, this one's 1, and that one's 2. And then it's a control enter, shift enter, none of the enters, tab, and then just click. Got it, click. Okay, this one was 33,000 microfarads. Right. C150, C102, dummy. Okay. C102, 33,000, yep. Gang a bunch of big caps together, make a spot welding contraption. Oh, definitely. Not to scale, need to scale that line, but no component. Oh, there's a lot of dip parts on there that you get 100 mil pitch, so that would be easy. Okay, it's 33,000 and 16 volt. 16 volt, and it's all of that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to mark all the little piddly caps, so this shouldn't take too long once we get going. Oh my gosh. This is C134. $2,200. Is it the same on all of them? Yeah, 2235 volt on this one. And, you know, I'm going to take its word on that one. Bring in the hand-operated forklift. A little small just for that. Now, the IEC connector is, it's special. Look at this. So we got IEC, you know, whatever, is it D, whatever, which one that is, C13 or whatever. Okay, we got the grounding wire. Guess where the grounding wire goes? If you guessed the ground pin, you would be wrong. It goes nowhere, because the ground pin is not connected to anything at all. It is free floating up there. Nothing connects to it in the slightest. Curious choice there, HP. Same thing on the other one, for the record. Hey, at least that solves the problem. Like, oh no, do you actually... So the ground wire actually goes to the board. So it grounds the chassis to the PCB, but it does not touch the earth ground, no. It's so heavy, it's always on the ground, so you might guess it. This one way to get an isolated PSU? Yeah, there you go. I mean, if it all goes through a transformer anyway, what's the point, you know? Yeah, it is an optical illusion. It's not connected. All right, let's continue. We're doing, what was this? C134 dash. Yeah, that's it. Is there a single variable cap in the whole thing? C134. Are they just writing fixed cap for fun? I forget, how many volts was it? I think it was 35. Why can my brain remember things like that? But not useful things. 35. And it's through hole. And the size is... It's 23, 22-ish millimeters. It's probably 22. For just organic free range caps, yeah. Oh, gosh. 22 millimeter. Find variable cap inside an IC. Well, then it'd be an IC. It wouldn't be a variable cap. I'm trying to remember if I've worked with a variable capacitor IC. I think it might have just been a, it was a digipot. It was a variable potentiometer. It's 30 millimeters tall. It was a weird use case. No idea what the lead spacing is. Temperature, I believe, is 85. It is 85. I don't know if there are electrically variable caps. I'm pretty sure I went into Sprague. Blue. Yep, it's Sprague. Okay. The orange one's Sprague as well. Okay, the orange one is C105, I believe. And it's 1000 UF 35 volt. Let's just check. 105. Why is it 105 right next to 134? 1035. Okay. The AM section in the back makes toast. I use digital ones because there's no way on earth you're going to be able to read my dial calipers on camera. I have both. I prefer the dial calipers. This is my go-to. But again, this sucks to try and read on camera. You got to look in like too many different places. Dial still needs to be 0. I did it once when I bought it. That's it. It's never wrong. Is vernier just the, you don't have the finer precision, so just don't look at the dial. Or it's dead next time you grab them, or crazy thought, put them back in the box so the button doesn't get bumped. Line up 2 scales with each other? Okay, I've never seen that kind. That sounds like it's also not going to be possible to see on camera, though. C105. There's one of them. It's 1000 UFs. I'm just going to keep pronouncing it worse and worse. It's plural UFs now. Concerts constantly drain even in the box. Oh, well, that sucks. Yeah, the Michitoyas don't have that problem, but that's like the Ferrari of calipers, so it better be amazing. Vernier would be bad on camera. So you use yourself. 1000 UFs. Ooh, it gets better. If you could say 1000 puff, I should be able to say 1000 UF. Ooh. I didn't know there'd be an even worse way to pronounce it. Hold on, new levels of depravity unlocked. $17 and yeah, I'm gonna go 16 millimeters. $1,000 micro Fs. What did I say? It was 16. That's right. It's getting distracted. Vorpal sword. There's just a button. See, this is one of the reasons why this is one benefit to digital calipers. If I want to convert something from imperial to metric, boom, one button. It just does it. Unless you're talking about the stupid imperial measurements like 1/4 or whatever. In that case, yeah, you're just hosed. 16 millimeter. Use your slide ruler, pass. Pretty sure I can vibes math on my own by just guessing. 10 millimeter tall.
"74 Raiders from Parts people have joined." End of line.
Parts people and raiders, hello and welcome. We are currently looking at the internals of an HP 6632A power supply from 1987 and putting a list of all of the capacitors in it on the website CapsWiki that I run, where anyone can list out parts for being able to repair devices more easily in the future. So I have a 32 and a 33 here. They are the same series of power supplies, but are different voltage and current ranges. And the 33 is having some weird problems that we think may be getting caused by some failing capacitors in there. So I'm trying to build up a parts list that I can order to restore these. But I hope your stream went well, parts people, and welcome. While we're doing this, we're also having a discussion about different kinds of calipers. Because a lot of this is physically measuring capacitors. Let's see, why is it orange? It is still 85C. It's so strange. Because orange makes it better. Well, usually there's a reason to denote something like that. Like here, I can show you how weird the difference is between these two capacitors. So we have Sprague and Sprague, no vent, vent. Jacket has legends that are vertical. Jacket has legends that are horizontal. It's like they're made by two different companies. Like, did Sprague buy someone who made smaller, more generic capacitors and then just slap their name on it? Like, why are these so different but so similar? Or so different but the same brand, I should say. Well, it's less that there's I don't know what the particular difference is. I see the M, which I think usually means, oh, is that electrolytic or is that like standard series cap? I can't remember which one that usually indicates. But yeah, which one has the magic smoke? They all still, everything here still contains the magic smoke, somehow. Happy Caliper Day. Saw Caliper in another stream on Sunday too. Well, hopefully they were having more fun with it. We're just measuring circles. There's a minute difference. It makes a circuit 0 points. Yeah. Looks like there's two options for C110 back there. And it's going to be nearly impossible to read what value that one is. So, to the data sheet. Of course, it's different on every single one. Is there a sound buzz? Well, now the air conditioning kicked on, so. Get an inspection mirror? Oh, I keep forgetting one of those would be nice, actually. Yeah, I should at some point. Okay. 110. Okay, so for the 32, should be 470. I genuinely can't see it. It's pointed the exact wrong way. Okay, C110, one of them. It's 470 UFs at... wait, it doesn't say a voltage rating? Great. It is possible I actually have a dental mirror. I used to have one, but I haven't seen it in a while. I might need to see it now. I've got a hammer. Does that help at all? I mean, in theory, if, you know, I whack that metal out of the back, then it wouldn't be in the way. I feel like I'm going to find the mirror, and the actual mirror will have fallen out of it. But I'm probably not going to find the mirror. Yeah, I'm going to give up on this. I'm not going to find it. Flawless logic. Unsoldered cap. See, the thing about that is then I have to remove the entire logic board, and that sucks. It would be easier for me to remove the motherboard from the computer that I'm streaming from than it would be to remove the main board from this. It's like the only one of these that doesn't say the voltage. I know, right? I've got an idea. I might be able to read it through the vents on the back. Nope. There's this random hole here. Oh my gosh, I can actually read it through a random hole in the back. It's 35 volt. Wow, I'm really glad I looked at that because the other ones are insanely higher voltage. What? 100 to 250, but this one's 35. Wow. Yeah, there's this random scratch in the material here. If I shine the light through, you can see, and I can see the capacitor through that. So yeah, it's 470 microfarads, UFs, and 35 volt. Maybe it should be 250 and why it's went bad. No, this one's fine. It's the other one that's bad. Okay, I can copy paste that, Maybe get in there with calipers and get a measurement. And again, I see no evidence of these being monkeyed with other than me having replaced the Noctua fan, or replaced fans with Noctuas. So I think they are stock. I think the stupid aluminum frame barely cut my hand at some point, and I didn't even realize it. Uh, 13 millimeter diameter. Why is it linear? Because it's from 1987. Jeez. Glad that landed on the heatsink. Fun fact, Desiac. A titanium S24 versus an aluminum computer case? S24 wins. There's now a mark on the from my phone slipping out of my hand. Anyway, let me get the height. 25. It's minor. No one will be able to see it because I filmed it all before and I filmed it at oblique angles. It's, won't be able to find another one at the price. Be careful. Yeah, it's, no one would notice it. And if I took like Scotch-Brite or something to it, I bet I could get the mark off. But it is funny because there is a phone-colored mark on it now. But yeah, you won't be able to see it in the video because it happened much later. And every shot that was filmed today is at such an angle that the light just blows it out, so you can't see. Monster, yeah, I'll have to use a Sharpie to fill it in. I mean, a silver Sharpie might actually work. No bench PSU, they use a triac dimmer to lower the mains voltage for the main trans. Oh, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You're sure the phone didn't deposit material on it? It might be. So let's be real, it wasn't in mint condition. No, it was not. It actually, it came out pretty good. I'd put in a decent amount of effort in cleaning it. The beauty shots of the front of it I did today, they look pretty darn good. If you can't tell how bad it actually is from the shots. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, lead spacing is a mystery. This is another sprig, but it's actually an aluminum electrolytic sprig, so I should probably correct that there. Black one has speed holes. I am envious of the black one speed holes. Because as you saw at the end of the video, it gets a little warm. I already have a higher CFM solution for it in place of the Noctua. So yeah. Or I have it picked out. The next Amazon order I place, I'll get it. Prefer water? Water tastes too funny. Actually, I was realizing it came with the original ones. It was just missing the, you know, the part that goes in there. So I could put the original one in, I guess. I determined that noise doesn't matter because the power supply is so loud anyway that just whatever. Oh, I forgot to record that, but that's fine. I can do that at home. All right. What's the next one we want to do? I want to do the last electrolytic. Yeah, because there's only one more. And then... Ow. Mr. Computer's an Apple Lisa? I own an Apple Lisa. It's dead, and I don't have a keyboard, and I don't have a mouse. It's not that. And the S24 probably would have just shattered the plastic instead. Shame we released a main channel video yesterday. Guess they could wait another 2 weeks. Hopefully that's the maximum length. And I'm very that was the whole plan anyway. Have you removed the battery from the Lisa? I believe it does not have one. It's a later Lisa 2. Okay, so this is C26. Oh man, such a small number now. It doesn't turn on though, it's dead. I don't know what's wrong. The green light came on once. I have footage of that from like, well, 2019. And, or was it 2018? I don't know. I've had a really long time. I tried to turn it on once. It turned on the green light and then dead. So I was like, yep, that's problems beyond my budget. Both then and now. Okay, this is 6800 UFS 16. Dude, I'm kind of loving the UFS. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to drop that in a video. I have to mix it up though. I have to say UF, I have to say MUF, I have to say UFS, and then make sure I never say micro. Ever. But I have to mix it up every single time. That's going to be the key thing, okay? It has to be different every single time I say it in the video. .6. So 22 millimeter. Machenko, you're not fooling me. You're lucky that I am going to consider this a primarily American audience and that I don't really filter swearing in the comments. Or how about just general profanity? 42 millimeters tall. Okay. Now we get on to the stupid safety caps, which are a little more critical. I think I am... Stuck two fingers up at us? Yeah, they are all 85C. I think they're just that, you know, confident in their cooling solution. I'm trying to think about... Oh, I forgot about that part. The leaning over on the stool for such a long time using the computer here always hurts. Ugh. One moment. I was gonna try and go grab one of the tiny... Yeah, these. The small line filtered safety cats I have, and then just hold one of those up to these to see if they're roughly the same size. They are. I'm gonna guess that's the lead spacing. Ugh. Should be more electrolytes. So yeah, there are. They're just tiny little baby ones that I don't care about. Like there's a axial one here that's man whatever. There's another axial one there, man whatever. Those might actually be tantalums when I think about it. But yeah, the little tiny ones, pfft, whatever. They're not as much of a problem. Oh. Ugh. Two, you don't change will be the two making all the issues? I don't think so. I think I'll be fine. They're the ones that don't really do real work. They have less fluid. Not in my experience. It's always the big grunty ones that have to do the load regulation. Like, unless it's a switch mode power supply. Then it's that little starter cap. Cough, cough, Halican power supply. Anyway, I am not hunting down all the tiny caps. No, I refuse. Oh, I don't want to sit again. I don't want to make my back hurt. Well, rip coffee. It was nice while it lasted. Should probably get water. It's a little early in the stream to be out of drink. So I'm going to get water while I'm standing. right. Still here for workbench modification that involves linear actuator for raising. That ain't happening on this thing. It weighs way too much. Oh, these ones it could in theory, but it's really not worth it. All right. Let's continue. What do we bet? Do we think that the safety caps are all marked in there? Because I can't easily make out what's on these ones. Oh, hold on. With light, it's cakewalk. They're 4700 Y class. Make a lick and jump, yeah. We're getting an adjustable chair. No, I like my $40 stools. I actually do genuinely like how basic they are. Is the same value on both of these? I'm gonna guess, yes. Yeah, other than the dust that's on that one. What's weird? This one's super clean inside. This one's disgusting. That's the one I use more, so I wonder if that's the correlation there. So it's softer to sit on? Oh, gosh. Well, it's not about actually, that would make it worse. It's about the height. The seat is not too far off from the height of the bench is the problem. So I'm leaning over a lot. I'm not exactly sure what the height of the stool is meant for. It's kind of perfect. I don't really want it to be a different height, but I don't think these should be taller either. So I don't really understand it unless this is just the wrong kind of stool for like really fine work. That's a bar stool. This is a lab stool. That's absolutely what that is. Some hard drives under the bench legs. Bar lab, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. So, it's 4700 microfarad Y class. I mean, sorry, UFs. Wait, are they actually that though? They're 4700 picofarad. Can I see the designators? Not really. I think they might be under them, which sucks. Because it's really crowded in that area, and I can see they wrote the axial resistors and stuff, part numbers under them. So yeah, I'm just going to look for 4700 Y class caps.
End of line.
Rancoon and Raiders, hello and welcome. We are currently picking out capacitors from an HP power supply from 1987 so that I can try and get, well, this one works, but the second one that I have off to the side over here does not work. So I'm trying to pick parts between them because they're very similar models to order replacements for so that I can repair the one that's bad and then preemptively repair the other one that will probably develop the same issue later. So we are looking through parts and picking out replacements for them. I'm going to guess it's this one. Wait, it says ceramic. It wouldn't be ceramic, but I wonder what they would mark it down as. It's C108. Are you sure it's C108? Oh, it might say on the on that board map you guys were trying to tell me about.
Redactup subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 20 months.
Holy moly.
And says, I'm still so proud of this. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. End of line. End of line.
Ramdog Cap, thank you for the Prime sub and for 20 months there. I appreciate that. And hey, Sphere, I want to slightly apologize, Sphere. I did not realize that you were chatting on YouTube, which would be why if you tried to like click any of the links to find Discord or something, that's why it didn't work. I did not realize that. I see a merged chat for everything, and it does not distinguish between the two. Can you recommend a good monochrome image sensor assembly for use in astronomical photography? No, because I just use a Nikon for the most part. I have never used a monochrome sensor for that. All right, you thought this would be quick last night after you saw the refuzz and you get on to the other thing. Well, I changed my mind this morning about doing a full cap map, so, because I realized I would kill more time. I mean, I thought it would be a good idea. All right, so it is 108, 109. This is actually kind of a nice, relaxing task to do after we've done kind of a lot of high energy, high intensity ones. So I'm kind of okay with this. The CCD or CMOS cameras is purpose built for mounting in a telescope in place of an eyepiece. Yeah, but why monochrome? Are you trying to use filters or something? Because that's the only reason to. Yeah, so the unopened dot sphere, that's the same seller I bought my unopened one from in the video. I paid way less than that. As far as I'm aware, they have not actually sold any for their increased price. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm happy with my one 9836. Although I didn't look at, the only thing I really want out of an additional 9836 is either a CU variant to be able to run HPUX on it with the memory paging version of the processor board or whatever, or the RGB output card. But if it doesn't have either of those and it's not super cheap, then I'm really not interested because I know they are going to cost $8 billion to ship because they're made out of depleted uranium. Because I have a Series 200 right there, so, and that one works flawlessly. Yeah, let me see. So yeah, filters. Yeah, preferably the one screws directly into the T-threads in the back of the telescope. Just get a tray. Get a tray immediately. Do not mess with not having a tray. The more you have to hand manipulate it, the more likely you are to have to clean it, and the more likely you are to damage the coating. Just get a tray. But anyway, I don't know. It's going to depend on what you're trying to do with filters. I'm going to say if you're trying to filter light pollution, probably not going to do like a whole lot. You just have to get out into a lower light pollution zone with a better Barlow. Oh no, better Bortle rating. Barlow is the magnifier, which you shouldn't use. C108, C109. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that if you're buying a mono sensor and then you want to get color images and you're going to stack filters, you can just get a color sensor. Like, let's be real, okay? What are you using for a telescope? And then compare the total cost of your setup for that and how far you're going to go. Because, like, let's say you just got, you know, a Celestron with an Alt-Az mount, and maybe you're fine with that. And then you're looking, you're like, sucks how that Alt-Az has the whole, stuttery thing. Maybe I could just, I can just get an EQ mount for it. And then, it's not going to be a problem. Like, then I can just put my Celestron on that. It'll be great. And then you find out, oh, wow, EQ mounts are really expensive. But, oh, well, this will solve the problem. And then you go, wait, now, it'd be nice if I had a controller for this, because now that it's on the EQ mount, it's really hard to kind of like figure out where this goes. So I'm just going to like set up, I'm going to get like a controller for this, like I forget what the brands are for that, because I went with a Pi and K-Stars. But, I'll just get a little computer that runs it. And then you're like, well, now that I got the computer and the controller, it'd be nice if I had a guide scope for this. It never ends. So what I'm saying is, you could just get a color sensor for now and then not worry about filters and stacking for multiple colors. And then play around with it first before you go crazy on filters, because the cost of a color camera is probably going to be nothing compared to the cost of a mono camera and multiple filters. So you can just get started. And Vorpal Sword, 3 telescopes with 1 filter each. No way. You don't want to have to align all those to each other. Ugh. Dogscope thinks full color. I mean, full color is actually easier to do, because just go get a DSLR, slap it on the back. Done. All right. Capacitors, 2 and 4700 picofarad. They are many volts. I think they were 250. It doesn't really matter. When a camera that screws directly onto the T-thread, scope has T-threads. I mean, so that's really not that difficult to achieve. You can just get, if you have a DSLR already, you can just get an adapter to just screw it on. And then your visual back for your telescope, you should be able to loosen the collar and then align it to the scope how you want. Once you get it all threaded on. Keep in mind, you're going to have to be able to adjust your back spacing for the camera so you can get the focal plane at the correct spot. And then that matters more when you get into a fixed camera as opposed to one of the eyepiece ones. Good cheap computer. Another computer, don't know a good one. Well, Sphere, do you mean a vintage computer or a modern computer? Because there's very different questions there. The visual back itself. Okay. So, to be clear, Silent Searchlight, you need, like, probably that much, you need to look up the back focus of your telescope. Because you cannot have the back of the telescope with the threads there. You're not going to be able to just slap a camera directly onto that. You must extend it out. There's more reasons than just like, oh, that gets the human away from the telescope for comfort. So it has to extend out a little bit. So you need the adapter, the visual back adapter that goes to the spacing for that. And then you might need little extension tubes. And vintage. Honestly, I'd go socket 7. For just straight up, I want a vintage computer, get you Pentium socket 7. 90 millimeter, that is an unusual one. Okay, 90 millimeter is kind of small. What are you trying to image? Philip. Lunar geography. Okay. That is a whole lot easier to do. Okay, if you want to do that, you're gonna be okay. If you do the uffs, you need to introduce the supply as a hop. Gosh. Anyway, 250 volt. Maybe Jupiter and Saturn. I gotta be honest, not with a 90 millimeter. I'm just gonna be brutally honest. Not with a 90 millimeter. Here's my best Jupiter so far with a 2300 millimeter and a, oh, I forget what the pitch, the sensor pitch is on the camera, but a very, very tight sensor pitch. So 2300 millimeter. I'm just saying, it's, that one was poorly focused. I can do a little better. But that's using, so if you've seen my streams from home, the cameras that I bought for that, actually I bought specifically because they are the same kind of StarViz sensor that is put into a lot of telescope cameras. So I can use them for that. But you don't have as much control over the exposure. So planetary and lunar is basically all that camera is good for. But yeah. Q-Star, no. I gotta be honest, seeing constellations printed on the outside of it gives me zero faith in it. If they're gonna do a kitschy thing like that, no. Recommend I buy a laser 128. I mean, if you can get it for cheap. I have a laser 128 that doesn't work exactly correct. Can you supply power to a bench press? Picture of a flat blade white screwed to a blackboard, photograph Jupiter, yeah. Reminds you of a recent microscope box. This is a little different, but I don't know. Let me put it this way. There are a lot of garbage telescopes out there that are literally not worth anything. A Celestron C90. Yeah, I gotta be honest, you're probably better off with the Celestron C90 than what is... Yeah, I absolutely cannot see this, I guess, Questar and think of it as a legitimate telescope. Maybe I'm wrong. It looks way too fancy. I feel like you're going overkill there, selling Searchlight. I don't know. Easiac, I've had some really my phone with wide views in low light areas. It's kind of fun. All right. Wonder if you could measure known lead spacing on the component by placing schematic in the manual and then fill in the others by measuring them too. Probably. I actually did that for one of the things that I bought caps for that we recapped. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, as long as that board manual was good enough, and it looked like it probably was. using the pitch of the chips on there would work for that. Well, silent searchlight, I don't mean to say this in a way where it is... This is not an insult in any way or meant to try and dissuade you from doing what you're doing. It, like... I just... Gatekeeper Shelby, that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to say there might be a point at which you want a better scope to start with. I don't know. It just, I mean, like trying to deaden the inside of a telescope is such a weird thing to do. Like, I don't know. Looking to upgrade eventually. Yeah. I don't know. It's super expensive to do, so it's hard to say much when it is a very gatekeepy hobby, like extremely. And it's difficult to say, you know, get X or Y because they cost $800 and you can use them like a very, very, very limited amount of time. I don't know. Anyway, 12 millimeter wide. Yeah, I'm measuring the new ones because I'm not going to try and jam the calipers in there. Cut your losses and buy a real telescope. I mean, it is extremely easy to put good money after bad in the telescope hobby, is my main concern. But it's a balance between saying like, oh, your scope's garbage, you should get a better one. And I genuinely think you would benefit more from investing the money in something else. It's a balance between doing something like that. So I don't know. It's hard to say without knowing more about your exact setup, but I'm also not an expert at it. So I can't really say a whole lot. $10 millimeter exactly on the lead spacing. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that it's extremely difficult to actually use the telescope. And there's a very small amount of time that you can use it, so it's... Yeah. Well, it is a lot easier to quantitatively state why one computer is better than another. It is not as easy with a telescope. You can have two telescopes that have the exact same focal range, the exact same aperture. One can be garbage, one can be incredible. It's totally different, yeah. Monolithic 30 millimeter Schmidt Cassegrain made of a single piece of glass. No, but again, that sounds like some kind of hipster boutique thing that doesn't, that shouldn't be where you're going. I don't know. Made by a hobbyist. Again, that... Okay, Series Y, Rifa. I'm sure that's not the actual series, but whatever, I don't care. Oh, it's PME271Y. PME271Y. I can't actually read that on there. I'm going to voltage as Y250. Anyway, recommendation on monochrome camera. I don't have one. I use color cameras. Tried filters, not happy with them. I just do color. That's long and the short. Okay, let's knock out the last 2 refills on this one, and then we can move over to the other one. Yeah, oh my gosh. I really wish these weren't so heavy. That would be cool. Ugh. Okay, oh, wow. Somehow, I completely missed the other little tiny one hiding down in there. I did not see C132 until just now. Because if you angle this at all, it just disappears. Oh, Sphere, that is a very, very difficult question. Don't worry, big Rifa. It really can't hurt you. That is genuinely a large Rifa in there. Not just like on camera, but actually it is much bigger than most of them. That's not a Rifa, that's a Reeflet. Yeah, the other tiny one. Yeah, that's one of the smallest ones I've ever seen. The biggest Rifa I've ever seen is still in that, though, because it's some kind of wonky one that's got a resistor embedded in it. But Sphere, I will say this. I am not the correct person to ask for an opinion on buying an oscilloscope, because my answer is always get some old weird one that's really cheap and then find out what you can't do with it and then figure out what you want instead. That's my answer, is go on Facebook, buy something from the 90s for $100 or less, use that until you find out what you cannot do with it, and then look at what you want to upgrade to. Or the boring answer, just get a modern Rigel that's like the cheapest possible one and then hack the firmware to get it to be higher speed. But that's boring to me. So the PCB mount IEC connector, if it's possible that the ground is connected, let's just answer the question. It is PCB mounted. Agree with the old oscilloscopes like CRTs? Well, you want a DSO. If I'm going to be completely honest, you should not buy a true analog oscilloscope as your first oscilloscope. It's just harder to use. Oh, it is connected. That is weird. So there are 2 mount points for ground in there. All right, silent searchlight. I'm not going to look at that right now, but I can look at that later. DZAC, all of that is wrong. The PCB mount on ground on the back is bonus connection. Yeah, so I'm guessing it does have it's just an extra connection for ground there. Okay, if you just appreciate it as how it looks, silent searchlight, I can understand that. It's just, it's such an expensive hobby. I try to make sure that anything that gets purchased for it has an actual use case. All right, we need to do C131, C131. I'm gonna guess this is exactly the same between the 2 of them. Not that it really matters, but can I actually see what this one is? Let me just confirm here. Ugh. 131. Fixed METPA. What? 132 and 133 are apparently the same. That's good to know. Metallized paper. Oh, such a boring, legitimate explanation. 0.22 UFs. I'm not even kidding. When I finally get to make a video with that in it, I am going to be sitting there going as I edit it with UFs in it. Cackling to myself. And hello, Ellen. All right. Oh, it's gonna suck to measure the size of this one. Well, Silent Searchlight, that's kind of the goal, is I want some people to rage at it, but then other people to get the joke, and that's why every time in that video, whatever video it ends up being, I have no idea. I just got to keep this in mind. Whatever video it ends up being, I need to call them a different thing every time, so some people can actually catch on to it being a joke. Okay, I'm gonna go 22 millimeters wide. $16 millimeters tall. Lead spacing, some, because I am not removing it. And brand, Rifa, we'll go with, oh, this is where I should put it in. Y safety dance cap. And then X2 safety cap. Okay, and then we got the little two tiny baby ones, which are Y class. Probably the same series. Let me see if I can actually see it. I cannot. I'm just going to assume they are. Actually, I will assume nothing. I can mark it later if I really want to. Is it the same kind of little tiny baby one as this, though? Let's find that out. Oh, gosh. I forgot. Bad. Oh. I'm sure the standing is the problem, not the sitting before the standing. Oh, man. Whew. I wouldn't count on people getting it. Oh, I can't read the rest. I got it. So how many times Nagella Lawson microwave clip gets? I have never seen that, so I don't know. How to get a haircut? I don't know that answer, that's for sure. Oh, had to get a haircut. Okay, that makes more sense. I mean, definitely wandered into the exact wrong stream to ask how to get a haircut.
Laura Coon says CHER 100 recommended fix. Replace streamer and reboot stream. End of line.
And what did you miss? We talked about calipers. We talked about telescopes. I cataloged 3 whole more capacitors. So, Lion, I'm not sure that this place would actually be able to help, but you can ask the question. But it's difficult to convey technical information through Twitch chat, so being able to get help is not easy. Silent Searchlight, I am going to disagree with that. Once you learn how to, I mean, you can't fix chromatic aberration. That's not possible. You can't fix vignetting. There are a lot of problems that you can have with cheap optics that you cannot work your way around. So that's the kind of thing that I get concerned about with the weird telescopes. So the miss through hole recapping Amiga 4000T and it's 40 SMDs. Ugh. Whoa, slow down. Yeah. So Lion, yeah, that I'd have literally no idea for on that. That's a weird one. Yeah. Only thing I can tell you related to that is that at one point I had a bad Intel i9900KF that would only work when the voltage was stepped up because it was just bad. So the processor had to be RMA'd. Yeah, you'd say that now, Dziak, but I can go get RAM for less than the cost of a kidney. All right, what was I doing? Oh, the capacitors. Yeah, so it's the same size as these, probably the same voltage. So C133, let's see if they list the voltage here. Yep, 250, 2200. Yep. This is C133 and C132. Yeah, Vorpal Sword, you can try to post-process lens distortion, but you can also just not have it in the first place and work around it in other ways. It's still the kind of thing that bad optics are going to generate that good optics are not. I didn't look to see if there's a voltage listed for 131. I bet there is. 250, okay. There we go. That is all of the parts that I care to documented for this thing now. So for the record, let's look at the other small aluminum electrolytics that are on here so you guys can understand why it is that I'm going to ignore these. So, because I'm really not seeing that many. And I'm wondering if maybe, dude, camera, just focus, my gosh. Okay, you know what? I will not use the light and I'll just up the exposure. There we go. Because I'm not seeing a whole lot here. So we have the paper caps or whatever these are. I don't care. Film, I don't care. They're not electrolytic. All right. Don't see any of those. That's not. This might be a tantalum or an aluminum electrolytic there. It's a little tiny sprog. It's kind of like the dead ones that are on the Micronova. All right. There are no more back there. We have all of those documented. And then up here, there's just one more, or two more actually, I can see, of those little tiny sprigs, whatever they are. So yeah, that, and then there's another one right there. That one's slightly different. But other than those three, I see no additional aluminum electrolytic capacitors anywhere on here. So, yep. I think that's going to be good. What's that black component? That's the, you know, oh my gosh, axial thingamajigger. It's the dual doodad. I'm going to guess it's a resistor. So, now we can swap that one out with the other one. And mark that down. So I'm going to go ahead and save this page. And then I'm going to be a real cheeky bugger. I'm going to go to Edit Source. I'm going to select all. I'm going to go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember to actually re-enable the scene. Hold on. Or the thing. There we go. So what I'm going to do here, crazy concept. Okay, I'm going to select this 2, and I'm going to make it a 3. I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to create source, and I'm going to paste that. And then we're just going to start with that. Boom. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to save this, and then we'll edit it after. Save, and then edit. Because we're just going to modify the values that are different. So, Sanity, the run the outro button is a 2-step process. I can go up here, and then it's actually hidden in the output control there. I cannot accidentally do it until I enable that. So it's intentionally difficult to get to. Just jumped in. What are we working on? This is an HP 6632 and it's done now. So let's get it out of here. Oh, it's still very heavy. Ugh. And now we're going to work on an HP 6633. There we go. Oh, this rack stuff makes this bad. Well, Sanity, I was adding all the features for things, so it got to piggyback off of that feature because I have down here all of the VGA capture sources because there's so many different ones that I wanted this to be able to be hidden so I don't have to see it all the time because I can enable everything and then the page gets giant and cluttered and I don't need all of that. So I have these toggleable so that I can hide or show them. Everyone was like, oh, you should have just used BitFocus Companion, but like, pretty sweet. Touchscreen monitor, yeah. This is one of those times where I pulled a Wesley. I was like, I'm going to Goodwill so I can buy a touchscreen monitor. And I'm not kidding. Same day, found it at Goodwill. So yeah, love that touchscreen monitor. Such a good purchase. What's even funnier is it's not supposed to be arm mounted. It has VESA mounts, but it's supposed to come with like a clear acrylic back to just sit on the desk, and it was missing it. Goodwill has an item in stock you need. That's not how it works though. That's the thing. You're not supposed to be able to do that. I did it though, but that's not how it works. The 10 pack of Decorator 2s was relisted, 500 for all. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Touchscreen monitors are all CRTs. I do not have a touchscreen CRT yet. Cellgen Studios was really kind and sent me a touchscreen element to put on a CRT, but I don't have a fitting CRT for it yet. So I haven't decided which one it's going on. I think it was 14 inch, but I need to like figure that out, which one it's going to go on. Okay, so C157 does not exist. So no, C157 isn't it. C103 does not exist. So let's erase that one. Boom. Okay. Today I turned out an IR sensor touchscreen. Oh my gosh, that'd be ridiculous. Oh, okay. I guess I have two others that are the ultrasonic HPs. Also not installed. Yeah, I really want to get it installed at some point, but don't know when it'll happen. Man, an IR touch sensor CRT would be so cool. So yeah, Silent Searchlight, that's how my logic analyzers work. They're ultrasonic ones. They're sweet. Okay. You know what? I'm going to stand for a bit because I have most of the information already typed in. The diameters and heights and whatevers are going to be mostly the same, so I don't have to think about that for right now. So, okay. Boom. C101 is 2200. It's MFD. They didn't put UF. So what wonky stuff do we come up with for MFD? So it's 2200. Manufacturer, megafarads. See, but it can't be something weird like that, because then people will want to correct it because it's like the wrong scale. Make a fart device. No, it can't be that obvious though. See, like manufacturer formatted data. I don't know. It's got to be something where it seems like that's, I don't know. There's something here to it. It can be figured out. Merps. Anyway, okay. C102 or 101, 2200. Yeah, 2200 and 200 volts DC for some insane reason. Okay. 2200, 200 volts. Microfluid drops? Ooh. But we can't change F. F has got to be farads. That part's fixed. Much like all the capacitors according to HP. We have to have, there's got to be the kernel of truth that we distort. That's where it becomes devious. Is that I know what's correct, but I choose not to do that. The height is 50 again. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, what's with the whole funny names? So it is very common in practicing electronics to use, say, shorthand stuff. Like you'll say 100 mil is 0.1 inch. And that will extend to values for capacitors. So 1,000 puff would be 1,000 picofarads. And then you can...
1443S got subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 43 months, currently on a 43-month streak. And says end of line. End of line.
Kurt1443, thank you for the Prime sub and for 43 months. I appreciate that. Anyway, so I use UF sometimes because it's a common, practicing engineer shorthand for that kind of thing. And people complain about it in the comments of my videos. So I like to abuse that because people are needlessly pedantic about things. It's twisting the knife a little bit for people who get their panties in a bunch about stuff that just doesn't matter. C102 correct? No, we haven't done that yet. I copy, so wait, 32. Wait, you're saying for the other one. But that's on the floor. I don't want to have to go onto the floor. Actually, DZX 100% correct. The isopropanol, yes. That's one that just irritates you guys.
On the internet, say it isn't so. End of line.
Chloe, thank you for the 100 bits. Programmers are worse. Yeah.
Says CHER 100 isn't so. End of line.
Jaco, thank you for the 100 bits. MFD is also manufactured. Maybe we could do something like that then. I don't know. You, Mr. Changes, would never be pedantic. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, saying C102. C102 is 33,000 UF. How did I mess that up? I think I overwrote it with something else. What was the next one I did? Hold on. Where did that 7400 come from? I think the stream's fine. Seems fine to me. Yeah, I don't think there was a problem with the stream. Okay, I am more concerned about what I marked as C102 inaccurately, because I think I messed something up. I agree, something does not seem correct. So first off, I can correct the B missing in main board. But what's 7,400 microfarads on here? Unless I just accidentally pasted that from up there. Oh, I may have done that. Okay, so I think it's just 33,000, and that's all. I copied and pasted it, and then I forgot to update it. That's what it is. So 33,000, that's all I need to change. Okay. Yeah, so I always copy paste it to get that stupid Greek mu character. So that's why. So it's an intentional copy paste error in a way. Okay. So C102 on this one is different. It's... Is that 17,000 microfarad? That does not make sense. Is it though? It is. What kind of value is 17,000 microfarads? Alt codes are a Windows thing. Yeah, I'm never going to remember that. You can just forget it. It's not going to happen. 17,000 microfarads. Pfft, weirdos. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing, Philip, is that all these Europeans come in here where they're like, oh, it's just this key plus that, and then that key does not exist. I've been down that road multiple times as well. Oh yeah? Well, how about this? Does your keyboard have a menu key? What? I bet it doesn't. I guarantee it's not right Alt M either. Yeah, no. Okay. Nope, right Alt is not Alt GR. It is not. I can literally do it right now. Right Alt M does not type anything. Okay, well, most modern keyboards don't have a menu key. It's very annoying. You have to remember that it's, is it Shift F10? Yeah. It's down to which key map variant you have selected. Do not give me that. No. Should keyword FF24, exactly. Okay, C134. Was that the same on both? I think it was. So it's 2200, so is that. Okay, this one is different. That is 1000 microfarad. It is 1000 over there as well. Is it still 35 volt? I think it is. Might be 55 volt. This one's a different brand though. So let's be 125, but they went with 200 volt for some reason. Lovely. That's 35 volt. Control Alt M, I will test it only because I've never heard that, but I guarantee it won't. Nope. Maybe it's Alt F4. I think that is more likely than the others. Do I use Dvorak? No, because I use legitimate reason. I use too many different computers all the time. I cannot use Dvorak. If I only used like 3 computers tops, it would be fine. But you get one laptop in there, you get like vintage computers thrown in the mix. It just doesn't make sense. So no, I have tried to learn Dvorak. I have done it. I have one of my Model M's converted over to that, but no. Yeah, I'm not switching anything around. I'm not, just give up. It isn't happening. Just give up on it. It's not possible to type that character, and I don't care. Because that's just one of many weirdo characters that I would have to type once a month at most that I'm never going to remember the command codes for anyway, so just give up. All right. It's 1000 UF, 100 volt on C110. 1000. 100. Should a Model F. If you don't have an XT computer, not really. Because adapting it sucks or will be expensive. That was a sprig on this one for some reason. I'm wondering if it's not even worth mentioning the manufacturers. Like, I didn't actually mention that it's a Mallory on the C102 or C101. Maybe I should. Mallory. And then this one, I guess I already have it as a sprig. I know, I'm not gonna bother with the keyboard nonsense. I just no, SM, no way. It's just no. Just look up the 1950s notation, yeah. It can work all at once. I'm never gonna remember that SM. It just doesn't matter. You know what will work? I can just Google Mew, and then boom, it's right there after I scroll past all the Pokemon stuff. All right. So we got those two other ones back there. Those are the same. Well, this might be it already, actually, because that is 6,800 microfarad, and this is 6,800 microfarad. So I think that's the same. So then those are the Rifas, which are the same. What's this weird green thing? Oh, that's different. I don't like that. What is that? Some kind of resistor, I think. What's on top of the HP computer stack? Empty dot cases. They don't weigh a whole lot. I'm not 100%. You mean, so on top of the printer, those are the dot cases. They're empty because one dot is dismantled and stored right there. The other dot is in that chair. I don't have a good reason for the one that's in the chair to not be in its case. I probably should just put it back in its case. Ben. All right. I'm gonna check through all of these values one more time so that I can make sure, because it is copy pasting and I could cause an error. So let's do this one more time. C101 does exist. It's 2200 and 200 volts. Check and check. C102 is 17,000 microfarads for some insane, stupid reason. I don't think I looked. It's 16 volt. I can see it. So 17,000 C102. Check. And then yeah, C134 is 2200. C104. C134. Yeah. 2200. Check. Ow. Sharp aluminum. Check. I have no idea what ref does this one is. C105 is 1000. C105, 1000. C110. That one's 1100 if I remember correctly. Yep. That's also one of those weird caps that says 0 to 100 volts. Duh. Okay, C26. Check. It's 6,800. Check. And then the Rifas, I don't really feel like trying to read again because they're really hard. All right, there we go. Wrong voltage, unlisted brand. Yeah. Don't go below 0 volts. Well, I mean, I would feel like that is inherent with it being a polar capacitor. Wait a minute. Is this a polar cap? The other one definitely is. I actually don't see a negative stripe on it. Oh, it's... positive marked.
50
Gross.
operators from T2SDE have joined. End of line.
T2SD and Raiders, hello and welcome. Look at this disgusting, positively marked electrolytic capacitor here made by Sprague in a device from 1987. That's just gross. Anyway, hello, I hope your stream went well. We just wrapped up documenting all of the capacitors in this HP 6633 DC power supply. I can go ahead and save those changes here on Caps Wiki. It so wants to be a tantalum cap, yeah. That's just awful. Anyway, yeah. So with that, I think we can turn our attention to this socket 7 motherboard, actually, and start looking at that now. So I'm going to pop these off to the side because my next step is going to be to order new capacitors for these so that I can recap them, mostly this one because it has some problems. But hello, hopefully your stream went well there, T2SD. All right, sources. Let's go ahead and hide the Caps Wiki page for now. All right. Just 3-minute delay? That is brutal. So, that is YouTube's fault. The chat happens through update requests that YouTube tells you to delay by a certain amount. They give you a millisecond time that you have to wait before you query again, and if you don't wait that, they ding your API key the full quota as if you had received messages, but then still tell you to wait and don't actually give you any data. So yeah, there's nothing I can do to make it faster, unfortunately. So it's brought to you by T2SD on Itanium. Ooh. Electrolytic tantalums follow different conventions. Yeah, no, it's very stupid that they aren't all the same. Okay. Ah. They're so heavy. I'll put these way off to the side. Maybe on this table next to nothing special at all. Okay. And then this one's jerk, doesn't have any handles on it. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so much worse to carry when there's no handles. Just sharp aluminum all over. There we go. You could switch to a service that has a YouTube quota now? Oh. I mean, at this point, in for a penny, in for a pound. I might as well just stay in my own thing. Sunk cost fallacy and all that jazz. All right. Here we go. So, this is... there is some information about this. Let's see if we can figure out some more about this board. All worth caps on order, so all hot pink. No, they're red. If they look hot pink on camera, it's just because the Black Magics have a really hard time with red. SP-A 586B. See if this is superpower. Yep, RetroWeb has this one documented. Okay. It has all of the connectors and none of the ICs. It's just it's what the big boy chips are for. It's probably that one actually though. Yeah, so the RetroWeb does have this one well documented. All right. Yeah, I understand. I had a feeling you were on YouTube, F, so it's no problem. But I don't have a compose key on Linux. It just doesn't exist. And I don't really want to try and remap one. All right. Now we overclock it. No, 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 no. This is the test bench board. It needs to live, so it would be underclocked if anything. Mostly I'm just trying to look for photos to confirm that I did actually remove these two capacitors from the spot over here, because I was pretty sure, but yeah. Remapping keyboard layouts is so fun. No. Not when you use a different keyboard on every single computer and just updated? What'd you change? It's missing the SIM sockets? SIM sockets? What are you talking about? Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember. Okay, yeah, I probably removed those caps from it. Oh, man. I really wish I wasn't so tired. Oh, okay, you're saying... I mean, it doesn't have DDR4 ports either. I don't know. Could have USB too. Wait, does it have USB? No, those are serial. It's funny if it had USB and ISA and AGP. Oh, it's LPT. I was like, wait, IDE floppy, Sony floppy? Audit? Wait, what's the score? Board info score. Been associated to motherboard by... I got no clue. Unless that's like another confirmation of the ports and stuff. I don't know what that score means. All right, I am gonna actually, I'm gonna grab some crackers to snack on. Because for some reason I can tell it's gonna be another bad blood sugar day. You added a chip. Ah, okay. Do you need to see anything else? Or, because I feel like that one photo was good enough. I don't know if there'd be anything else that would be worth documenting about this. Of course, it has BIOS manual picture, front, back I/O panel. Well, the back I/O panel is literally just an AT connector or a mouse or keyboard connector. Just joined. Is this 386? No, it is a socket 7. That? Why does it look like there's crud on it? As I have AT style back, but AGP because it's super socket 7, technically. If you want to use screenshots of this for that, that's fine. You can go for it. It is hard to search for motherboards on Caps Wiki, unfortunately. It'd be funny if someone already documented this one on there. Just needed the chip number? All right. No, I don't want that, Desiac. I'm good. Wait, it does have a USB header? Where are you seeing USB header? Oh my gosh, is that a USB header right there? Is it? If it is, I didn't know that. Or is it something else weird? Is it that? RX, TX, 5 volt? That kind of looks USB. Is it some kind of weird single line USB? Ugh, wonky. Thanks, I hate it. Obviously, I've never used it since it's all bent and messed up. That one's IR? Oh, so you're saying that one is it? Okay. Oh, there's some letters right there. That's probably a good hint. This board has everything. So BK, technically USB is not a 10-pin header. It is usually a 10-pin header, but these are two single USB ports that are split like that typically. So you could have a single 1x5 and have it be USB. So that's why I looked at that other one and said, yeah, it could be. It would be cursed, but you could do it. That's probably a key. I don't know that I've ever seen a single USB header like that on a board, but I have seen single split cables. I'm going to copy the RetroWeb name for the board and use that. Is mine a B? Mine is a B. They don't have the grounds next to each other. One of the ports was rotated 180. Cursed. I see it has a proper 0 ohm resistor in there. You mean all these ones right here? The like squiggly ones? How about the one over here? It's a digital brand resistor. It's just labeled DEC. What the heck is that thing? That's super weird. Is that 0 EC? Oh, you're talking about, I was looking at SMDs. I didn't see the gargantuan one there, yeah. That's 330 ohms? 0 EC. Oh, I didn't know that there was. That's weird. I have literally no memory of what processor is in it because I don't care. Its only objective in life is to have all of the ports on it that it does and run Windows 98. Whatever's under here doesn't matter because the performance does not matter. It's sufficient. But I can pretty much guarantee you it's not a K6. Hell, you managed well. Those will all go get my PS2 wherever it is. Actually, I need to find my PS2 wherever it is. And then, yeah, use that. Why Windows NT? Who wants that? They need a BIOS extension to implement all of the legacy BIOS interrupts so that we can run DOS. Jeez. Because it probably has like turbo and lockout and a whole bunch of other weird stuff that computers could use. Poot. DOS also? Well, hello. Yeah, I do know about the PS2 mouse header. All right. Well, that's enough of an image. Ooh, I love this spare wire that's just hanging out. That's enough of that image for the wiki. So, I'm going to start cataloging stuff. Yeah, munch, I know. Put this in your GLA BIOS. Oh, gosh. Modern scratch built open source BIOS for... That's so weird. Why, though? Color for post screen with useful information. Fast. Wait, is it not going to CGA snow then? Well, what's the fun of that? Boo! CGA snow is just part of the core identity. Boots faster? I've never once turned on my 5150 aside from RAM counting and thought, gee, this is slow. Oh man, there are a lot of caps on this. I did not realize how many tiny little ones were. That sucks, because they probably all need replaced. The reference designators are tiny on these too. Man, they're labeled TC. That's so weird. Wait, the legend on this thing suck. So we got EC, and then we got over here TC, more EC, TC, TC. Why are they so different everywhere? Ugh. All right, fine. So let's go with that one. That is, I'm going to guess, I mean, it could be BC. I'm not so sure about that one. Is that BC 80 or EC? Well, BC seems to maybe be for the ceramic tiny ones. So this is probably EC 32 for that one. Versus tantalum? Yeah, but these aren't tantalums up here. Mm-mm. Oh, that one is a different series. Maybe the ECs are low ESR. TC tiny cap, BC ferrite bead, C ceramic cap. Okay. Refdes, BC 32. Quantity, I don't know yet. Let's go 1 for now. Capacitance, I don't know. I can't read it from this angle. I can say it's 105C. It's one of them wonky brands. There we go. 1000 UF 6.3 volts. Okay. Really wish this thing could do continuous autofocus. I literally don't know how they can't add that in the firmware update. It's very frustrating. Watch, there will be a firmware update, but it's the one that also adds like AI garbage. Let's get a diameter. So what do you all prefer? No wiki or with wiki? 8.2 millimeter. So 8 millimeter. AI enhanced continuous autofocus. Yeah, really. Within corner. All right. You want it smaller? It at least makes it obvious what I'm doing. Yeah, it is probably cap juice. Okay, I'm going to make it about 1/4 the size of that available area. So I'll go with that. And yes, it is some cap juice because those caps were bad. On that, let's see what those caps were. They're garbage. 1010. Yeah, same. Okay, so they are not the same value of the other one. BC32 is not the cap number. No, it's EC32. Oh, wait. I typed wrong. I was joking about it, and then it is supposed to be EC32. Yeah, EC32. Yeah, I messed that up. Look at all that structure in there. It's that's a really sturdy fan. Okay. I needed the height. $13. I'm gonna make this narrower. Probably means I'm gonna have to move it over. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Bye. And I'm back. Okay. Like how sometimes I care and I do the thing with the hiding or not using studio mode. That's it. But it was really hard to get a measurement down to like an exact amount. Eh. Electrolytic cap, terrible cap. Yeah. It's 13 millimeter. Lead spacing. Oh wow, we can actually measure that on this. This should have been disconnected for long enough that I don't have to worry about shorting these. So let's just go ahead and put that right on there. Oh yeah, drain all that power instantly. Is that 4 millimeter? Probably 4 or 3.5. It might be 3.5. I'm gonna go with 3.5. 3.5 millimeter. Heat sink on the VRM looks fine. Tweaked. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see. I think it's good. I think that's the only one. Yeah. Okay. Is that type? Aluminum electric avenue Lolitic. Brand garbage. I think it's the same as whatever these ones over here are, except it's beige or copper colored. It is Canicon. Canicon. Series. Do these say anything like that? That one sure doesn't. I don't think I can read it on this one. Nope. I can see it's 105 though. 105. Chance to damage cap is shorting the terminals. Usually use a screwdriver. Yes, there is a chance. Yeah, it's not good for them. So you can exceed the C rating of the capacitor by doing that, because you will discharge it instantly. It will not be able to slowly regulate the charge out. So yeah, you can heat it excessively, and yeah, it's not a good thing. All right. I'm going to go with series. No, I'm not going to mark it series because I don't think they believed in series. I think they believed in, does this work for the vendor, until they cancel because we stole the recipe and we didn't actually know how to make the recipe and it was garbage. These 85 or
K37 dodged up the
105.
Subscribed with Prime. They've subscribed for 4 months and says woot 4 months and posting from the Goodwill. End of line.
I hope you good luck at the Goodwill. And thank you, Mr. Firewall, for the Prime sub for 4 months there. I appreciate that. They get more if you repeat a few times. I mean, yeah, there's a reason for that. They don't like it. All right. These are, actually, hold on, let me go back to the reference designators here. TC6, TC7, TC6, TC7. Quantity 2. Then they were 1010. Make a batch of caps, rename. Another batch, oh gosh. Who knows why they're what they are. There are 110 caps, I believe, though. Or is it 125? I don't remember. I think it's 125. It's stupid. I have no idea. It's this, and then 10 volt. This, and then it's probably the exact same size as those. Yeah, close enough. Whatever. I don't care. It's copying that. Yoink. Okay. Okay. All right, which ones are next? Unfortunately, I think it needs to be these, and I have no idea how I'm going to read these without removing one. Because they are very inconveniently located and don't want to bend out. And that's the one that's going to blow up pretty soon. So I think I got to yoink one of those before we can continue here. Yeah, they're all the same. Unplug the fan connector, but then the fan other thing is in the way. I don't think we can see that. And you guys definitely can't because the camera lens can no longer focus for some reason. Camera, yo. There we go. Oh, maybe? I don't know. I mean, if it was less dirty. But there's no solution for things that are dirty. They just stay dirty forever. There we go. I mean, yeah, just look at DZX's mind. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's right. I set it to manual focus. That's not going to work. Okay. Let's out of my gutter eyes here first. 1500 UF, 6.3 volt. There we go. 105C. I think that's everything I need. I'm so glad I was able to clean that part that's I can't see. That made it so much easier. It really looks like that one's about to take off. I don't like it. Okay. Just copy, paste. 15. Copy, paste. Love the germanium diode for that is pretty sweet. Okay, well, soldering iron can take a hike now. You know what would be even better if it was like a little, oh my gosh, there's another capacitor. If it was like a little tiny neon lamp or something. It'd light up. Alrighty. So 17. Oh, well, screw you, EC19 and EC20, I guess, and EC22. Why? Why are they all so different? Why is this not the best retro board? Because it's AMD. No, it is Intel. Socket 478. Well, I mean, it's so dark, I can't see anything on it. What are the white things on the bottom? Oh, God, it's one of those. I can tell you why it's not the best retro board, because it's going to be unbelievably expensive. I like how Philip liked the diode, and Hellencroft is apparently in disdain of it. What's the white thing? It's a fan header. Plug. Okay. You ever seen a white ISA slot? Not sure. Pretty sure I've seen a brown one. EC17, EC18, EC21, EC23, and on Hellencroft's page. It's garbage to do with the tube. They're probably paper capacitors. Or film or whatever nonsense. Yeah. So I have a 386 motherboard that has some kind of weirdo memory expansion that goes into an ISA slot, but the ISA slot is in front of another ISA slot, and I'm pretty sure it was brown. I might be wrong. Yeah, exactly, Vorpal Sword. That's why I was saying it's not that one, because that one's going to be extremely expensive for no good reason. Pretty sure I have seen a couple of those show up on eBay. 10mm, by the way. Height is 14. It was 14.7, but that's the one that's trying to mount Vesuvius. 14. Lead spacing is some. CMOS batteries flat? Well, I prefer that over round. $5mm lead spacing. I love the consistency I have with having spaces or not. Pretty sure those are also Capricorn or whatever that is. Okay. How about tubular? I can't say that too many of the tubular batteries that I've encountered were desirable either. Well, I mean, actually, other than all of the modern ones. I was thinking of the Vardas. Oh, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants people. What's that connector? Lead spacing isn't important, you can always watch it. It's kind of important, especially the width when they're all crammed together like that. You get the width slightly off on that sucker, and all of a sudden you got them bandoliered going sideways. Let's see, I thought it was obvious. Yeah, land wake. I don't think it wouldn't be land wake if there's a single thing like that on there. That's not very LAN. What's CN4 connect to? Is that the HDD LED blinker? Is that the BIOS that says, or the LED that says your BIOS is loaded? Probably Wake on LAN connector. Okay, hold on. What is this Wake on LAN connector nonsense? Why? What different connector would there be for Wake on LAN? There's just 2 pins. Okay, no, but seriously, like, what is that? Oh, wait. Okay, so if you have a discrete LAN card in the machine, it can basically, that becomes a power button, essentially. Okay, I've got it now. So the LAN card would have passive power coming through PCI slot or whatever. It supplies 5 volt. Okay, so the power comes from that, and then there's one signal pin back to power the computer. Okay. That, I guess, makes sense. I had not considered that. Also, that's kind of annoying to find out that that's a thing that exists. Because younger me would have really, really loved to know that you needed a cable to connect something like that. For all the times that I had previously tried to Wake on LAN. I have one computer ever in my life that I have successfully used Wake on LAN for, and it is a desktop that has a Wake on LAN port built, or it has the LAN port built into the motherboard. Now that makes sense why. All right. Let's document some more capacitors. Yay! So we got one here, and we got one there. Ooh, that one looks like it could be one of the same as the other ones. Hold on. This is a 1000 6.3. That's the same. So that's EC16. Hold on. Easiest cap update ever. It's the exact same as these ones. EC16, comma, space. There we go. Included into the PCI slot. Well, that never worked for me. Your awning's making me more tired than I already am. I am sorry. I did not sleep well. And it's contagious. I love little roll-up mouse. I'm directly plugged into monitor, so I can just whoop and have it go away. All right. So EC16 was easy. What about EC20 here? EC20 is a 1010, which I think was the same as the garbage caps that I removed. So that one should probably go, actually. Well, I mean, I'm going to make them all go away. Yeah, it's that. Okay, so EC20 is the same as TC 6 and 10, or 6 and 7. EC20. So that blows anything out of the water about like it being related to a specific series of capacitors or something. Idiots. Wait, we got one more fancy pants looking color one over here. What's that? That's another 1006.3. Okay, and that one is EC7. Socket 7 board. Should we redo the thermal paste on the CPU? I'm sure the toothpaste on there's fine. I'm not worried about it. Philip, I'm not sure how the mouse could do that, though. If I could make it do that, I would. Also, Decoded, I like how AGP means that it's not old for you. Because I got bad news. Seems very random. See, I was doing it by size. I did actually have a method. I was starting from the ones that I knew were bad and then going based off of size. So we've now done all of the bigger ones. And then the other reason to do it based off size is that we can end up finding the ones that are the same value just sprinkled around. So if you go by size, it's actually pretty sensible. Now, speaking of size, there's another one. That's another 1006.3. Pretty sure, yeah, 99. No, not early 2000s. Look at that structure that's on there. I gotta move a little bit out of the way. EC9. What's the model of this board? Helen Croft can link it for you. It's an SPA586B. There you go. This is EC9. EC9. It's supposed to be not an official standard, EC electrolytic, TC, tantalum, BC, bipolar. Well, they're bad at that. Because there's plenty of non-bipolar ones up here that are TC. Well, look, that one doesn't even have that. It's just C. I think that's for the other one, though. Let's see. TC. There we go. TC with a stripe. Doing gamer names for motherboards. I guarantee you all of the gamer name motherboards actually have real model numbers too. It's just most people don't bother to learn them. I think the designer of this board is a Muppet, yeah. Okay. Now, on our quest for size-based capacitor documentation, pretty sure there was a little weird squat one somewhere around here that was probably unique. Where was that? I think it just looks squat by the battery. That is it. 99 is a bit late for socket 7 though. I don't know. I mean, what do you want? A Pentium 3? Something contemporary for the time? Psst. Nah, you want to go with the classics. I guess it would be, actually, now that you say that. Maybe. Well, Silent Searchlight, and I'm sure AMD probably still has a production line of 386 chips somewhere. That doesn't necessarily mean that it was actually, like, mainstream. China is still producing 8051s, so I mean, like, all right. Shut down their geode production. I would not be surprised if their AMD 386 is still being made somewhere. but I don't know. All right, let's see. I am mostly being cantankerous there. What's so super about Socket 7 anyway? The AGP slot. I was going to say, why does that look like it's got digital zoom? But then no, it's sensor crop. That's not digital zoom. But that it wouldn't be pixel binning, whatever, merging. So it would look worse. So 100 megahertz, I have no idea what the bus speed is. I'm just trying to decide which caps I want to go for next. I think this one. So that is a 100 UF 16 volt. Actually, I think I should Sharpie these because this is going to, excuse me, get a little bit more difficult to tell them apart. Let's do that as we go along now. So we got EC28, EC28. This number is now wildly inaccurate. Hold on, were there 7 of them? 7. Okay, so EC28 is one by the VRM get done? Yes. Oh, one by the one that is on its own? Yes, yeah, so that one right there, yeah, that was the first one I did. That one was a unique value, right? No, I'm an idiot. It's the same as all of these. Why? 8. EC32. Get out of here, stupid single value that doesn't matter. Wait, why did I put this as 3.5 and then these as 5? Because they are actually different. This is EC32 right there, okay? That's EC32. And then the other ones are down here. You can see they have a dual pitch. So they are mounting those ones as 5. That is weird. I have changed my mind. I'm leaving them marked separately. Because you can put a 3.5 here, but you cannot put a 5 there. I mean, other than like, you know, if you just bent it. But, you know, I don't like that. Okay, let's continue. We're on this one. I'm not going to mark a number down yet. I think it was, I put my flashlight in my pocket. 16100. I don't think I'm on a path to end up with anything Acorn. I put a cell in a cell. I'm so good at this. I might go with an apricot, though, for weird sounding food computer names, sort of. 5mm diameter. $11mm height. Height is actually important on these since they are in the ISA slot, but as long as they are below the ISA slot, it doesn't really matter. This looks like a 2.5er to me. It's a 3. I'm going 2.5. I'm going to guess it's wink, wink, nudge, nudge, 105. Looks like it. And same garbage brand as all the others. Okay. Now let's see if there's any other 100 volt or 100 UF whatever thingamadoodads. Philip, I think you've been hanging out in the squirrel tree too much. I know I'm the one who said it, but I couldn't resist. Okay, so there's one. So EC24. EC24. That's a 116 EC22. I think that's one. Yep. I had no clue what that one is. Oh, the fast show. Okay. I like my reference too. This. What is that one? Just C71? Well, I don't see a reference designator here. It might be under the cap, unfortunately. Are there any ECs around it? I think it's got to be the C71. I don't think there's anything else it can be. Because this refers to that. Although there isn't one for that one. Okay, it's possible that refers to this one. Really don't want to remove that one. I'm just going to call it C71 because anyone who's looking at it could reasonably assume that that's what I was talking about. Okay, I think that's all the medium-sized ones. Hopefully all these little tiny baby ones that are all over all the same exact value. That would be really convenient. So 4 of those. All right, insert below. Alrighty. Oh, these are gonna suck. They're really hard to see in between the ISA slots. 10 UF, 25, those are all the same. Nope, they're not all the same ones, but they're common. So we're going to knock out a lot of them, but there are some others that I'm going to have to be aware of. Okay. So these are all 10 UF, 25 volt. What? Ben, they wouldn't be so inconsiderate as to not think of that in advance. That would be quite rude. Why is the control key not working? Because it's shift. Okay, so these are EC 29, 30, and I'm going to go out on a limb and guess 31. 31, yeah. EC 29. What? EC 29, EC 30, EC 31. Okay. There's going to be more of them, though. I'm going to not mark or measure with those ones because screw that. That one, I believe, is not the same value, but I think this one is. So let's look at that. Yeah, 22, no, but then 1025 and 1025. Okay. So let's measure those with calipers. Crunch 4.5. $7.5. Hate such cost savings. Yeah, that does suck. That's going to be a 2.5 if I've ever seen one. I like when the things are so small you can't even see the calipers. It's going to be, wait, is that 3 or 2.5? Hold on. Nah, it's 2.5. All right, now we just go around looking for 10 UF 25 volt caps. Okay. It's still a fuse. I mean, by that logic, so are all the traces, though. Okay. So skip that one. So these two are EC19 and then Commodore 64. Wait, I think it is it. Wait, why is that one C64? Dude, this board is maddening. What? I almost wonder if that was done intentionally as a Commodore 64 reference. Yeah, I think it might have been, actually. That doesn't explain the C71, though. I think it could legitimately be an Easter egg, actually. It might genuinely be. I'm really good at getting Sharpie on my hands every single time I touch one of these things. All right. What was that one? 1025, EC13. Oh, more Sharpie marks. 1025, 1025, 1025. Oh, wait. Is that? Yep, 1025. 1025, 1025. Is that one 1025 too? You betcha. 1025 there. Okay, so every single one in this area is 1025. I should just mark down by 50 of them. I shouldn't like bother putting all the reference designators. So that one's blocked by the port. C5. Says it right there. C5. So they were a fan of Corvettes too. This is where some real Corvette fans supposed to pop in and say, no, the C5 didn't show up until... Okay. EC6. There is a C4 cap. It was one of the ceramics. 9704, so exactly this range then. There's EC1, EC3, EC2, EC5. That's super confusing. It's a 6. No, I think it's EC4. Yeah, it's EC4. And then TC2. Good Lord. Oh, that's horrible. That was what you're talking about, the jumper for the RAM voltage. I don't like that. Okay. Ugh. EC1, EC3, EC2, I give up. EC5, EC4. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, that one is TC2. TC2, the worst diagrammed capacitors of all time, or documented, whatever. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so many Sharpie marks on all my fingers. It's ridiculous. What is this? EC8? Is it the thing with the values? It is. EC8. I am about ready to just write a lot. Both of these. EC11, EC12, EC11, EC12. Mark down on the site, just buy a reel. It'll be worth it. Both of those. 14 and 15. EC14, EC15. Both of these. EC34, EC33. How bad is the motherboard? Fairly. If you don't like your capacitors with the side of gonna blow up, then it's probably not the board for you. Also, had blown up. Oh wait, I didn't even see that one down there. Jeez. That's another one. EC27. TC3. Yeah, I'm marking them after I'm actually getting them written in. Wait, was there one hiding there that I missed? Yes. TC5. And then in the ports. 1025, 1025, EC25, EC26, EC25, EC26. This is one of those ones where you go to write the reference designators in the DigiKey column, and they're just like, no. As far as we can discern, Majenko's answer is not incorrect. Decoded, you should upload them to the RetroWeb if you have manuals that are not available anywhere. That would be very helpful. Okay. Is there just one for the IRDA that's different? Is that it? That would make sense. Okay, yeah, so zoom out here. Any tiny caps left unsharpied? I think that's all of them. Except for the one. Okay, last one. Insert below. Okay, I'm going to take all of this and copy it, then we're just going to augment the two values that are different. Well, three values, because there's a reference designator. To scroll up more, stupid web page. My God. Hold on, I need the mouse back. Yeah, there we go. Somehow the web is both exclusively and not even slightly designed for touchscreens, and it is infuriating. Okay, this is a 22 UF 16 volt. And it is TC4. One is missing near the crystal. Yeah, that was the one that I was going for. So, good catch, but that is the one that is a different value than all of the other tiny ones. Yeah, you could upload the manual to archive.org as well. That would be a good place as well. Looking to replace the all caps or reduce the amount in total? No, I would replace all of them for something like this. Should make a video in IRDA. I've never used it. It's just serial, but over IR. Literally, that's all it is. Like the RX and TX, it's just IR LEDs for RX and TX for serial. Seriously, that's all it is. Like it seems I don't really think there's enough there for a whole video. Like it would just be about the history of the technology. The actual implementation is just serial. What about flow control? It's a whole defined protocol stack on top of that, but is literally any user going to know that? Or is it just going to be serial over IR? What about flow control? Not a thing. That's probably what Ben's talking about with the, the fluffy nonsense on top. It probably does TCP-like kind of things where it's like, are you ready to receive a message? Yes. Can you receive the message now? Yes. Have you received the message? Yes. I am completed receiving the message. Yes, that kind of thing. So I've also never successfully actually connected IRDA devices other than possibly Lego Mindstorms. That sounds like networking by Mike. There's a tiny bit of that. Yeah, but Vorpal Sword, I'm not going to do a video that talks about the overhead of the protocol. So, this board coming from one of your retro builds. This is the test bench board. It was determined bad in the video where I reviewed the thermal camera. For giggles, I had pointed the thermal camera at the motherboard, and it turned out one of the capacitors was running really hot. And then I pulled it, and it turned out it was really exploded. But there we go. Ready to get caps for that. I want to build a PC with it and see how well it runs games. The motherboard, I gotta be honest, I have so much hardware like this. I have zero interest in taking X random hardware and seeing how well it performs, because I have so much. I would just end up correlating a database of like this chip, this board, this performance, that kind of thing. It would end up being benchmark city, and that sounds miserable. So not gonna happen. So I end up usually just picking specific things because they sound like fun or something. So I'm not really concerned about the performance because you can always just get newer hardware for the performance in this era if you want it to perform better. Vorpal Sword. There were 2 versions of LEGO Mindstorm. One of them was IRDA, one of them was custom. There was an actual serial port version of LEGO Mindstorm that I believe was IRDA. Pretty sure there were 2. Look forward to the launch of BenchWiki. Yeah, that's not happening. But Ben, finding out that Bluetooth stems from IRDA explains so many things. So many things. Next, you're going to tell me MTP came from it too. Anyway, we're at that point again where we are out of time, and this time there's only 12 minutes left, and we're not going to start a new project. So, yeah. RetroWeb has a similar system calculating boards like this. I mean, boop, there's the board on the RetroWeb, but this is about capacitors, not about anything else. So, exclusive, limited scope. But yeah, CapsWiki's been around for, well, a long time. I don't recall there being any mass storage stuff in IRDA.
The form of X says CHER101 Bluetooth. It's slow and confusing, but at least it's unreliable. End of line.
I gotta be honest, I think I hate MTP more than I hate Bluetooth. I really cannot stand MTP. It's so bad. New VHS decode? No. For one, I would have to unearth my Laserdisc player, which is currently wired into my home setup. No. Optional installable feature on Win 10 11. I am surprised. Video connector over micro USB. Fun fact, yes. But you and I are probably the only people who remember that. Anyway, no, it's the stupid media transport protocol for pulling files off of devices that keep their file system mounted while they're connected, aka your phone. Ugh. Thankfully, you don't touch MTP these days. I only have to use it all the time to pull video files off of this thing, and it's super frustrating. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up there just a little bit early because we accomplished our goals. We got all the caps mapped. I will have to order them later. I am not promising that these all get ordered in any particular period of time because I got a lot going on right now. But they will be cataloged and ready for the next caps order, whatever that ends up being. So, yeah. Can't just take the SD card out of an S24? No. I bought it based on the camera capability, not on the general features, frustratingly. So, yeah. Anyway, that is going to be it for... Thanks for changing the camera feed thing there. Anyway, that's going to be it for now. All right, well, yeah, I do want to get this board. I think this board actually still works right now. It's just those caps are real sketchy. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to use it, but I'm pretty sure it still runs. But I won't use it until we get that recapped. Same thing with the HP power supplies. I at the least need to remove the big REFAs, but now that I know how much of a pain in the butt it's going to be to remove those main boards, yeah, we're definitely just recapping them. Although I'm probably not going to replace those giant sprigs again because those are going to be really, really expensive for literally no reason. So yeah, we're not going to do that. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. So if you enjoyed this stream, you may want to follow to be notified when I go live again next. If you want to help support the channel, you can find me on Patreon or get a shirt like this one. I really am wondering if maybe I should start calling out the shirts and videos because I keep getting comments like, I like your shirt. And then it's like, but you could go give me money for it if you do. Anyway, that's it for now. See you guys next time.